First, let me offer my congratulations to you. For those of you on the committee, when I started my career in Congress in 1995, I started on this committee, and it only took Peter 30 years to become chair of the committee. So, Mr. Pence, there's hope. And I recognize you, sir, because I sat in the chair that you sat in when I first joined the committee in 1995. And this is a great committee because it's a bipartisan committee. And to the ranking member, congratulations. I think it only took you 20 years to reach where you are, but it's because people want to be on this committee and serve on this committee because it is so bipartisan. I think the timing is absolutely perfect. I think the stars are aligned for a big infrastructure bill. It's got to be big and it's got to be bold. It can't be chintzy. The American people are waiting. And I know that just about every one of you that ran for office ran on the idea that you were going to do something about fixing infrastructure in your communities. I watched your campaigns, and I know that when many of you were elected, you now have to go back home and explain to people what you're doing to fix infrastructure in your communities. And so I think the timing is perfect, and this is the committee that can do it. When we served, I served for 6 years on transportation infrastructure. With Peter and others, we passed 2 6-year bills. We had 75 members on the committee. All 75 members voted for those bills. We had extraordinary leadership from then Chairman Bud Schuster, and we made it happen. This committee can do that, and I think you will. Everybody knows what the problem is. America is one big pothole. My home state is Illinois, and we've had another brutal winter. And all over Illinois, there are potholes. All over America, there are potholes. And you can only do so much by continuing to fill potholes year in and year out. The interstates are crumbling. Today, there are now 60,000 structurally deficient bridges all over America. And those have been designated by engineers. So you know what the problems are. You come from the communities. You come from the states. And the issue is not knowing what to do. The issue is how do we pay for it. Why hasn't Congress passed a transportation bill? Because we can't come to grips with the idea of how to pay for it. And I want to suggest to you today that you raise the gas tax, you put a big, bold plan out there, give it to the Ways and Means Committee, and ask them to raise the gas tax. I say 10 cents a gallon. I know there's a plan out there for more. I heard President Trump one time in the Oval Office say 25 cents a gallon. Hooray, do it. And when you do it, index it to the cost of living. In 1993, if Congress had indexed the gas tax to the cost of living, we wouldn't have this debate. We'd have the resources. But I say couple it with public-private partnerships. I say couple it with tolling. I say couple it with vehicle miles traveled, which I know the ranking member is very excited about. You can't fix America's problems with infrastructure with just tolling, with just VMTs, with just public-private partnerships. You have to create a big pot of money. We have the best interstate system in the world, and it was funded through the Highway Trust Fund. That fund is depleted. It's broke. And that's why America now looks like a third world country when it comes to infrastructure. So you got to come to grips with this. Now, I will tell you this, 14 states are this year considering an increase in the gas tax. 26 states since 2013 raised their gas tax, and not one politician got thrown out of office. Not one. They did it because they stopped waiting for Washington to act, and they needed money. And so you don't need to worry about the threat of some kind of a reverberation from your constituents if you raise the gas tax. For every $1 billion increase in federal investment in transportation, 27,800 jobs are created. Think of this as a jobs bill. This money doesn't stay in Washington. Where's it go? It goes to your friends and neighbors who engineer roads, who build roads, who work on the roads, who fix the roads up. The money goes back to your communities. It goes back to your states. This clearly is a jobs bill. This clearly will get America moving again. And it's just absolutely so critical. You put together a bold plan, give it to the Ways and Means Committee, raise the gas tax, couple it with VMTs, tolling, vehicle miles traveled, boom. America's back in the transportation business again. And we haven't been in it for a long, long time. Finally, let me say this. Safety is very important. One of the things we emphasized, and one of the things that Chairman Schuster emphasized when he was chair, is safety. And Chairman Young did too when he was chair. Our roads are not safe today. The death rate on roads today is up. Why? Because they're not safe. So make safety a part of whatever big, bold plan you put together. If you build new roads, if you reconstruct roads, safety has to be one of the top priorities. And I think that's something we emphasized while we were at DOT. It's emphasized in the states, and I think you send a good message if you emphasize it in whatever program you put together. Thank you for including me, Mr. Chairman. It's good to be back to the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Appreciate